is it everyone? Jacques from Dapper Shaves. We're back in the lovely rainforest for a straight razor shave. We're gonna get into the gear shortly. I have got some notes I need to read off, so I'm definitely not prepared to do. So a question many people ask when they see these white soap blocks. It's not a soap block. More specifically when people use it on their face. This is a loom crystal. It is, I use it as an antiperspirant, and you can also use it as a toner on your skin. It's very, very good. So this is a loom. This is a high quality one out of France, nice and clean. The equipment. This is soon to be released from Pasteur Pharmacy in New York. I've used this quite a few times. I'm fortunate in South Africa to have the soap maker MasterSoapCreations right on my doorstep. So this is already available in South Africa. We're going to specifically talk about the scent. I'm going to use it for my shave. You guys can see what the performance looks like. And I'm also going to use the accompanying witch hazel splash. My post-shave by now, you guys know I'm going to use an unscented tallow soap. The razor I'm going to shave with is this Wayne Butcher. We're going to do a show and tell on that. If you guys don't mind me keeping my glasses on, because I'll have to take some notes. And then my hands is not in a great condition, and apologies for that. The reason is I've received some bone and I created scales for a customer on a very special razor that had broken scales. It's a quarter hollow, so that's why my hands look like this. I'm specifically not showing too much of the blade, not to give away to anybody, but I think these scales came out beautifully. In any case, I want to put this away. We're going to use the Wayne Butcher, and then the brush I'm using Simpson's Commodore X3 in Best. So for me, when I use all my soaps, I just make sure the skin is damp with my fingers, and I take some of the soap and I build myself a pre-shave. This soap is on the softer side. My nail dig in there. Having said that, that's firm. The soap is also quite new, so it will, I don't know, cure a bit over time, I guess. And I'm using a lot of force to with my fingers into the soap. So there we go, a little pre-shave. I specifically work the tough areas, specifically the jawline, the chin. And I see I haven't given the moustache any love. So just then gently wrap that in there, add a bit of water, and you've got a pre-shave. It does make a big difference. Don't care what you shave with, give it a try. I've had lots of feedback on my channel that it works. So I call that the people's pre-shave. So this soap, I'm going to start lathering, and I'll do it here in front of you guys. I use essentially a damp brush. This one's got a little bit of water in, but it's damp. You can see I splay it. There's not a lot of water coming out. So I'm going to load there. So how I scent my soaps when they come in, I take them and I nose them, and I spend some time on that, and I make my own personal notes. And then I write them down, and then I go and find the fragrance or the soap's notes, and then go and see what it is about, and And what I've missed and what I picked up, that's how I learned to use soaps. We're not done lathering yet. I want to just put this down for a moment. So I've got typically two notes. I've got the scent note, and then I've got a description note. And then I've got things which I picked up after reading the notes, and things I didn't pick up even though I know them. That's how I class them. So with Bloom. So Bloom is based on Tom Ford's Black Orchid. If you don't know Tom Ford, that guy does fantastic scents. When I sat down and I was this, I picked up Musk, Sandalwood for sure, vanilla, which gives it a nice bit of a sweet note to it. I thought berries. So the berry is semi-correct. It's actually black currant. So it's got a nice black currant linger to it. And jasmine. So those are the notes I picked up. So my description for this is, it's a sweet, musky, floral feel, dressed in sandalwood and vanilla, with a soft, clean finish. So that's how I describe it. What I'll do is I'll put the ingredient list down in the description below, so you guys can go and look at it. I'm going to not read them out. So things, I just want to add a bit of water in here. So when I lather, you can see I try and end up with a bit of a paste. And then I add water, and then we just work everything through the core again, wash and repeat until I've got a very nice, wet, sleek, hydrated lather. So after reading the scent notes, we talked about the black currant. There's bergamot in there. It's a scent. I can smell after reading the notes. Yeah, so that's the only one I could really distinguish. Things I do know, but I could not smell in the soap is lemon. My wife actually smells it, I can't. Lotus, which I think is more the jasmine I thought to it, and chocolate. It's got some chocolate notes, which is apparently in there. I can't pick it up. So that's the scent profile. As you can see, the soap lathers ridiculously easy, and it takes a ton of water. So that's what I'm going to explore now. So that's the soap. It's going to be available, as I say, from Pasteur Pharmacy in New York. It's a collaboration with Fernando here in South Africa, MasterSoapCreations. And I think this one's going to really sell out quick. It's a very classy, elegant scent and a fantastic soap. So, that's the soap. What I need to do is, I need to switch to... because I can't remember everything, and this is essentially unscripted. I want my notes on Wade and Butcher, because I've said I want to do that, and we haven't. So we're going to step into that. So first of all, my Wade and Butcher is from around 1840, 1860. So it's around 160 to 180 years old. Classy, vintage Sheffield steel, and we'll do some close-ups on this. It's got horn scales, beautifully horn scales. It wasn't that nice. I spent a lot of time polishing it. We'll have a look at that. So 1725, James Butcher, a cutler living in Sheffield, and his wife had 2 sons. William, he was baptized 20 May in 1791, and his younger brother Samuel was baptized on the 23rd of March in 1795. Yeah. And so they learned importing, exporting, and the trade. That was running the business. I think this lava is plenty. This might be a slow shave, so I might rehydrate, add water in any case. So they completed the apprenticeship as an understanding of exports, and they registered the business W&S Butcher. Right. So you've got to now look at the time frame. This was happening. We are talking essentially the early 1800s, 1820s. Yeah, and this is Sheffield, England. And they decided they are going to focus on the American market, mostly. And they didn't do any advertising or nothing. I haven't shaved with glasses in some time. So they listed as merchants in New York in 1827, and later in 1837 they opened up an office in Pratt Street in New York. Okay. Now I said you've got to remember the time frame. They shipped equipment from Sheffield in England all the way to New York. So that's the 1820s. Not too long after that, they added a partner called Robert Wade. And he was running the import business for them, and also W.S. Butcher Knives. They were also making a lot of knives. In 1842, they opened up an office in Philadelphia, run by Robert Wade. And in 1850, they opened up a Boston agency trading in New Orleans, San Francisco, and Chicago. So that's 1815, gentlemen. So no planes, no couriers, shipped by boat. To New York, and then I would guess by horse and carriage across country all the way to Chicago, San Francisco. So Jacques, you know, shipping a couple of razors that far, you really know, shouldn't be a big deal. And that's what we're going to get in next, because the volume they did is absolutely staggering. I haven't shaved this Wade & Butcher in some time, and because it's essentially a wedge, quarter hollow, I don't know what you want to call it, but so it doesn't give you that feedback you get from a extra hollow razor, and so I need to be careful. I can tell you now, the edge is of a black Arkansas, a black Novaculite. Hyper keen and incredibly smooth. So I just need to be mindful of pressure. One of my weaknesses is to tend to increase pressure while I'm shaving, and that can have dire consequences. So a lot of talking. I don't know how long we've been busy with, but you'll see the soap is still very, very nice, wet and hydrated. So it's a quality soap for sure. Ultra slick. So very enjoyable, high class stuff from Fernando. Didn't expect anything else. So I want to talk about the significant scale. So they employed around 500 employees in Sheffield. Yeah. I also need to brighten the screen a bit for the old man's eyes. They were the leading edge maker in Sheffield, obviously. They had 32 forgers in the edge tool department. They made 57,600 razors annually. Yep, let's make that 58,000 razors annually. They had no hard sell. What do I mean by that? Wade & Butcher did not advertise. It's all word of mouth. And with their knives, the American market appreciated the quality and the craftsmanship and the steel in particular. And I mean, they also made files, so we'll get into that. So by the way, at the peak of the company's time, that's between 1870, they employed between 800 and 1,200 employees. Their weekly production, 12 tons of files, both steel and wooden. 58,000 razors. Sorry, no. We're talking weekly. 800 dozen razors. 800 times 12. There you go. 600 dozen chisels and gauges, and 400 dozen plain irons. Yeah. A week, and they shipped the bulk of that to the United States. Imagine that. Alright, so what I want to do now is, I think I've talked enough about Wade & Butcher. There might be a couple of more interesting things to mention. So any of you interested in a Wade & Butcher or looked at one, you would see the prices are absolutely ridiculous. And that is because of the quality. You know, and the whole story that goes with it. This razor is, let's call it 160 years old. And it shaves magnificently. Dressed in horn scale. So today's terms, horn scales is a luxury finishing option on razors. So we took off, I think, 2 days beard. We still got some work to do, but we're going to do that on the second pass. Still very good, slick, keeps hydration, and I can tell you now the nourishment on the skin is going to be excellent. Okay, so I just cleaned the sink and I want some warm water. And then do a second pass and maybe touch up. Don't think so. This Wade & Butcher really mows through hairs. You will know if you follow my channel. I enjoy hollow grinds, but specifically hollow grinds with bellies or pronounced bellies. And the reason I have a Wade & Butcher is because of that stiffer blade and edge dynamic. And yeah, they are just incredible razors. I like them stiff, sharp and smooth. And yeah, that's why the Wade & Butcher is in my collection. I got that one for a song. I don't know how I got that right, but I don't know. Folk were sleeping on that one. In any case, much appreciated because I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Same with the soap, and once again, the scent on this is really classy. It's such a fine balance of the various notes and elements in the soap. So let's do against the grain pass with a Wade & Butcher. And then we're going to get into my post shave. Man, this thing just glides. Lots of mass in the blade, very stiff, as I said, very silent. And so it gives a lot of confidence. Don't get carried away with it. So one thing I haven't done is to first of all thank all the new subscribers that have joined. Much appreciated. I'm also getting a lot more questions, which I always encourage. And why I say that is, this is an educational channel. For those of you new or that don't know this channel, I do educational shave videos, show and tell on razors. I do honing videos. And then every now and again I also keep quiet doing ASMR shaves. And that's essentially it. I don't do reviews. I'll talk about the scent soap. I'll tell you how I perceive it on the shave at a very basic level. And then hopefully if I've done that right, then you guys would have received enough information from a visual perspective to make your own mind up, at least for me. You see this? If you've got concave areas and you struggle to get that clean, then just push it out, manipulate the skin. So definitely not going to require any cleanup passes. This is absolutely sublime. So there we go, guys. If I've done everything correct, Mamma mia! That was very, very pleasant. So that was the soap and the razor. What I'm doing is I'm just running very slowly some cold water over the blade face to wipe off soap from the bevel. And then I'll also just give it a light strap on a cloth. And then I'm going to put this to the side where it's safe out the way. And then I'll get to that when I'm done with the shave. So the excess soap in your brush, I squeeze that out. apply that on my face. So that's essentially my first round of post-shave. And I'll just let that sit, and now I've got opportunity to clean my brush, clean the razor, clean up the mess around me. So that's what I'm doing here. There's the brush, nicely rinsed out. I'll just get it to bloom a bit. Here we go. Lovely brush, really love it, performs well. And a workhorse for sure. So, brush is sorted, razor is sorted, semi-sorted. So after the shave, I'll wipe it down with a microfiber cloth, give it a good stropping. Wipe it down with a microfiber cloth again, and then put away. So the soap all nicely cleaned, fantastic stuff. If you like, what was my description of the soap? Where's MasterSoapCreations? Where's my glasses? I call it bloom. A sweet, musky, floral feel dressed in sandalwood and vanilla with a soft, clean finish. Yeah, definitely. At least my description. You'll see how quickly this tallow absorbs into my skin. And so where I get a lot of my post-shave from. So what I'll do now is use cold water. And just wipe off the excess from my skin. And then unscented tallow. The fragrance oils in soaps does not do it any justice, so no fragrance in this one. So the tallow will be a purer, cleaner, and more effective concentration. So I make myself a post-shave balm, and as you can see, this is once again quite a lot of tallow. But for the purposes of this, I want to show you, without any assistance, how quickly that absorbs into your skin, and what it makes your skin feel like. Very, very nourishing and refreshing. Let me quickly get the weight and show you a couple of close-ups while this absorbs, and then I'm going to add the witch hazel splash, and then we're going to move on. So the wade, heavy blade, let me just hold it there. There we go, nice and clean. You can see the shape of this animal, little barber's notch going the rear of the razor. Beautifully set in horn scales. Here we go. That's the weight, guys. Alright, so tallow fully absorbed into the skin, and you can just get that velvet feel. That's what I like after a good shave. So witch hazel, shake them well. Alright, to make sure the oils and the witch hazel and everything mix up. I date stamp mine. In fact, all of my witch hazel, so that I know when to use them, so that they are always fresh and usable. I don't let things build up. So bloom, I got in February. this year. That's when it was available to the South African market. So I use witch hazel quite liberally. It is a fantastic stuff. The witch hazel has got definitely a bit more of a muskier, more of a sandalwoody notes to it, stronger notes than the soap. Yes, very pleasant. So once again, I want to thank you for joining me on the shave. Hope you learned something, or at least enjoy just seeing me shave. Thank you very much. Without you guys, this channel wouldn't exist, so that's much appreciated. See you on the next one.